Yeah,
But
my sound is there.
nice.
Cool. Judd's face is not there. Don't worry, this is all fine. um, basically, before we started this podcast, I said to Judd, I'm not going to talk to you. Like, not ever. Like, I meant just like right before this podcast, I'm not going to talk to you on purpose. So now it's like a genuinely like Judd's just answered a call and we're talking right now. But I'd done. Obviously we record this through OBS, and I had done a stream, a drunk stream,
Yeah.
and essentially we had jazz cam. So my girlfriend Jasmine had her own camera because I figured out how you can set it up so that you can make your phone work as a webcam but over Wi-Fi, so you don't even have to plug it in or anything. So
Yeah.
I had my old phone set up for that.
All right.
And basically I gave her that. So that's once again it's led to a very professional start where I start going, oh shit, oh no, this isn't actually ready. Just like always. But regardless of that, what's going on, Judd? It's a big one. It's a big one this time. There's lots to talk about.
There's lots to talk about, but I still feel like I've done nothing.
There is much. I've got a massive long list to tell you about all sorts of stuff.
Okay. Right, well, start then, because I don't really have anything.
Well, as always, Judd, we start and we like to start and end this podcast with horrid things, as you know, because we are quite badly, and that's the kind of whole point of the show. It's well, I don't know if that's the point of the show, but that's naturally where things lead. Everything is shit and everything is bad. But yeah, so I'm starting with death. Death.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Death today.
Right.
That's what we're
what
starting
died?
with. Well, so I went to the shop, as I often do, to get some stuff.
So what died? Well, I did.
No. I went to the shop to get stuff, as I often tend to do before a podcast. I like to, because if I'm going to drink, Wednesday is often the day, which sounds weird, but it's because it's awkward to drink with my girlfriend, because when she wants, if we decide we're going to drink, like on an evening or whatever, and get drunk, sometimes she just doesn't. Sometimes she's just like, oh no, I just don't want to now. Which I fully understand is a perfectly, you're allowed to do that. But it really fucks things up for me, because like it's a massive waste. It takes a lot of preparation and effort for me to get drunk. So Wednesday is normally the best one because I can drink on podcast, have a jolly old time, and you know it's kind of Thursday, Friday days after. So and because I work from home, it doesn't affect my work very much.
Yeah.
So I went to the shop, as I often do on a Wednesday, to get something to drink, and this isn't much of a story because there was dead pigeon, and right there.
Right. Okay. So that's
kind
it.
Of the whole thing, really.
You just saw a dead pigeon. You just saw a dead pigeon on the floor.
But what was weird about this one is it was like I weren't sure whether it was dead to start with, because often when a pigeon like is dead somewhere and you see it dead, it's like. Oh, I don't like to use this word, but this is the word that came to mind. It's often like brutalized, as in like it's I don't know, like its head might have come off for some reason, or like it's been run over, so it's kind of like, you know, caved in or something. Often that's normally how pigeons are dead, but this one completely intact. If you wanted to taxidermy that pigeon, it was.
You could have taxidermied the pigeon.
Yeah, it was. You know, it was ready to go, and it like just kind of laid there, just obviously like it had its eyes open, but it looked like it might have just been having a rest. But it weren't. It weren't moving at all. And I went to the shop, and on the way back, it was still there, so it was definitely dead. But
right, okay. So it wasn't, you know, just like having like a very intense eyes open nap. Then it was dead.
No, it was dead. I don't know how to pronounce this username, but RXSW says, "Ayo." What do you think of that?
Right. I think that's fine. We're talking about dead pigeons. Apparently, this is what the show's reduced to.
It's getting excited about the dead pigeon story.
Jake saw a dead pigeon on the floor, and he decided that's what he wants to lead with. So.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I always tend to. Oh, it's Ross. Ross, okay, Ross it is. I'll try and remember that. Yeah. Well, I mean, I try and lead with the most boring stuff, I'm going to be honest. I like to save the best stuff for a bit later on so that people listen to the entire podcast, which is what you should do, by the way. I'm not just saying that for the sake of trying to get people to listen for longer. That is genuinely how I can't help it. That's just kind of how it happens. Ross is saying, do you all think singing is a talent that you get by birth? Well, as a professional singer, I'll have which I have been before, kind of semi-professional.
Yeah. Question, you fucking
It's definitely one of those things that's learned and natural, but mostly learned. Anyone could be a good singer, definitely, but it takes different levels of effort depending on who you are. Apart from people who are tone deaf, which is a lot less than you think. So many people think they're tone deaf and like, oh no, I can't sing, I'm tone deaf. Well, statistically, fuck off, because you're probably not. In fact, you're more likely to be pitch perfect than tone deaf. I think it's about. I think these are. I'm just making up statistics off the top of my head because I can't remember the exact ones, but I think it's something like 10% of the population is pitch perfect, or it might be 5%, and then only like 1 or 2% is tone deaf.
Right. Okay.
So, there you go. Anyway, moving on, Judd, being as there's many a thing to talk about. Everyone will think that's a gap in the podcast, but it's actually the joke that there's so much stuff to talk about.
I didn't know if that's where you were going. I just thought that was a really funny
there's a lot. There's a lot. First of all, Judd, you know I like to tell you, because you don't follow this shit, I like to tell you about the YouTube boxing fight stuff. Yeah. Not that I think you're interested, I just like to. Jake Paul, right? You know him. You love him?
I know Jake.
Probably not.
I don't like no.
But I've got a question about him for you. Just this is a side note, just because it's proud in my head. You like cocks, right? Sometimes.
I do like cock.
Would you like to partake in Jake Paul's cock if you got the opportunity? Would you give that a go?
No, because one of the biggest things for me, and this is
going to sound
very very cheesy and gay. One of my favorite things. One of the things that attracts me most to a person is like how they act, and I don't like how any of the Paul family act. So
I think that's fair enough. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Me neither. Jake Paul.
No, I can say I'm willing to say that Jake Paul and Logan. Well, I don't know. I suppose they're both like attractive men. I'd say they're not.
Are they?
They're not. Well, yeah. Someone who's into men, I could say, they're well built.
Okay.
I think one of them's got better hair than the other. I never know which one is which. The stereotypical.
They're well-oiled machines. They're good machines. They're fairly reliable. Well, look, Judd,
I would not want to know.
I'm going to be sending you links on Facebook regularly through this because you need the context of them.
Is it dick pics?
No.
Is it
so I've
Paul's
sent you someone else. This is Jake Paul's fighting opponent.
Okay.
He's fighting him, I believe, it's in like 3 days. Yeah, it's this Saturday. As of recording this, that depends when this goes out on YouTube and all streaming platforms. Stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, and watch the video version on YouTube Games Badly.
Nice.
So I've sent you a picture of Ben Askren, who is Jake Paul's boxing opponent.
Okay.
So my question for you, obviously, people are going to cover this fight being like, who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's a better fighter and stuff? No, that's not the coverage we're getting. We're getting who would Judd rather fuck.
Yes.
So which one? Which
and
one?
At the end of the day, isn't this the real battle?
I think that's the one everyone cares about, really. What's your verdict, Judd? I've sent you a pic of Ben Askren. Obviously, you've not seen how he acts.
Sorry.
You've not seen how he acts, which you've just told us is quite an important part of your selection process. But if you just physically, or with what you know about him so far. That's not a good reaction. Poor Ben Askren. Ben Askren just looks like
I'm looking at both of them. I don't particularly like the looks of either of them.
But if you had to pick,
Just if I was going off physicality alone, then probably it's Logan, isn't it?
No, it's Jake.
It's Jake. Oh right, fucking hell. Let me bring up Jake Paul. I think they basically look the same. There's just got a bit of a different haircut anyway. But
I feel like Jake probably has better facial features.
wait, you said it was Logan, didn't you?
Yeah. No, it's Jake.
It's Jake. Okay, fuck. All right, okay. I suppose Jake Paul. I think just if we just went off looks, alone, he don't look too bad. The other guy. But
okay, so I've got some headlines for you here that are interesting. I want you to sort of think about the outcome of these. So there's let me get this right. Media presenter fights multi-time undefeated mixed martial arts fighter. They're fighting. What do you think of that? What's going to happen?
I think. Well, I suppose the teacher just get his head kicked in.
No, I said media presenter. He's like a media presenter.
Yeah, media presenter. Yeah, I suppose he get his head kicked in. Okay. Did he not get his head kicked in?
Well, okay, well, just think, there's this other one first. That's the verdict on that one. The other one is undefeated, young undefeated boxer fights middle-aged, middle-aged. I'm trying to think of a term you want. Newcomer to boxing. Middle-aged newcomer to boxing is fighting a 2-0 undefeated young professional.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. What's happening with that one?
You'd think that the professional would win, I suppose.
Yeah.
One would think.
Well, both of those are Jake Paul fighting Ben Askren. They're both the same fight.
Right. Okay.
So what do you think about that? Have I bamboozled you?
I suppose. So it's what is Jake Askren the
Ben Askren's so Ben Askren, right, has had quite a long career in mixed martial arts. Technically he's 19-2, but he's been a multi-award winner. You can't advertise on the channel, you son of a bitch. That's what happens when you do this thing live. You are getting banned. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you got banned from the game podcast.
Oh, live on air and everything. So Ben Askren is he's won 2, I would say, like B-rate mixed martial arts titles, because he's never been a UFC champion. In fact, he's only ever fought in the UFC twice and he lost both times. But he's fought in the next one down and been an undefeated champion, like in 2 next one downs, if that makes sense. Yeah. So he's done that for 19 fights undefeated and then like 21 fights total. Jake Paul fought Deji. Ooh, yikes. Sorry about my dog howling because she's a fucking menace and I hate her still. Don't crucify me for that. If you've seen the rest of the podcast, you'll know why. And then he's fought Anison Gibb, who you won't know. Okay. He's probably slightly better than... He's still a YouTuber, and that was professional. Then he fought a footballer, an American footballer. Oh, no, a basketball player, but not a tall one, a small one.
A little one,
yeah, a small basketball player.
He didn't want to fight the big ones.
Who was 40. So there's that. Okay. So that's what he's done. So I don't know, but there's this fight. But the thing is, Ben Askren is he's not a striker. He won all of his matches not by punching them. He's a wrestler. He takes them to the ground and does what he needs to do there. So knowing next to nothing, who do you think is going to win then?
Well, now that you've just said that because it's a boxing match, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
It's not like a UFC. It's not like a cage match or anything. It
is boxing, but there is still punching in MMA. Remember, it's not like Ben Askren's never had to throw a punch.
Yeah, but I don't know actually.
This is the point. It's an exciting fight, and it's going on a Saturday, and they've sponsored us to promote the fight, Judd. We've got a sponsor to promote the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight.
I don't believe
Good,
that's
because
true
it's not
for a
true.
second.
It's not true at all. But I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm not excited enough to buy it or even watch it, to be honest. But I'm excited to find out what happens. I don't know. I just thought I'd mention it. There's not much else to talk about with that. Although Logan Paul is supposed to be fighting potentially the greatest boxer of all time. But we'll talk about that if that actually ever seems like it's going to happen. Other than that, Judd, I said earlier that I like to drink if I'm going to drink at some point in the week, I like to do it on a Wednesday in the podcast and stuff, which I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Would you like to know what I'm drinking? Because it's a bit of an interesting tale, not a very interesting one as always, but you know.
as every story on the Games Badly podcast goes, yeah. Yeah, go on. What are you drinking?
Well, do you remember the Crystal Skull vodka?
Oh Christ, yeah.
It's not that. It's not that. It's
right,
a lot like that. It comes in a skull bottle, which I am showing on camera right now.
Okay.
I'll send you a picture of it, and it's Armenian brandy.
Armenian.
Yeah.
Armenian, right?
There's a shop near my girlfriend's house. I think I've talked about it on the podcast before. It's like a Baltic kind of Slav shop that sells a bunch of things like that. And it sells. It's got strange alcohols as lots of these places tend to. And one of my favourite things to do is to get interesting different stuff. So not often that's food and drink. And so we went in looking for the most interesting things we could find, and we found this brandy, which was expensive actually. It was £25 for half a litre, which is a bit, when you consider the size of the bottle and stuff, is a bit more expensive than Bumbu, which is our favourite alcoholic drink of all time, isn't it, Judd? Please sponsor us, Bumbu. We would like some free.
I do
Bumbu.
actually. I really like Bumbu.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's genuinely so good. But this Armenian brandy. I'm thinking. I've had brandy before. I like some brandy. It's like a sipping liquor. I prefer sherry, but I like brandy too. So Armenian pricey Armenian skull brandy. That'll be nice. That'll be could probably be quite smooth, quite nice to sip on an evening. Get merrily drunk, do a stream. Yeah. So you can see this on the stream if you want to on the Games Badly Twitch channel, which is where you can catch this podcast live if you ever want to watch it live. I took a sip of it and. Wow, it blew my head off. I was like, holy shit. I think that's the strongest tasting alcohol I've ever had. I don't think it's technically the strongest alcohol I've had, because I think I've had absinthe before on a night out.
Yeah.
Bad that I say I think. Probably the absinthe worked too well, because I can't quite remember if I actually did. But yeah, fuck me, it tastes very strong, but it's nice. So that's that in the skull. But then... Have you seen the picture of it, by the way?
I have seen the picture of it, yeah, I've just had a look.
One sec, can you send a pic of the fancy wine bottle? Because I'm sending that message to my girlfriend, because she got fancy alcohol too, and she got Georgian wine.
Georgian wine?
Yeah, right, so this was like a white wine. And it's from Georgia, again, kind of like a Baltic-ish place. And it was this Georgian wine. The bottle it came in is fucking insane. We were looking for the weirdest bottle we could find, and it's the weirdest bottle of anything I've seen. It was, I suppose it weren't necessarily too weird, but it was very fancy and very different and interesting. It was made of stone.
Stone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
It was made of stone, and it had a wax seal on top of it to seal it.
This.
You know how like an old timey letter is sealed.
Yeah.
A
scroll.
yeah, I'm gonna try and Google it because I don't know. Georgian wine, because I don't know if she'll get back to me. Stone bottle. Georgian wine stone bottle is what I'm Googling. Let me see if I can find it anywhere. Google is not helping me right now. It's proper, like, you know, in the movies, like
Yeah.
I don't know, in like a movie about Greek times. I know movies. I've heard of them before. in like Greek times or whatever, they would have like there was like they'd like pour it out. In these things, you know, it's like one of them's that they'd pour it out in. That's the worst description.
One of them's that they'd pour it out in. You know, if you said that like Gollum, that'd absolutely be something to say.
Do you know who I did sound like then? You know, in Futurama, that guy, like that kind of like commoner worker guy character who's like, one of them's that
one of them's that pours it out with and the such.
Yeah, it's like that. She sent a photo, right? You can have a reaction to this.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And you have to react to it like that guy off Futurama.
Okay, all right. I'll react like the working class man from Futurama.
A working class New Yorker.
It's like some of the old Greek architecture during the Apolliosis times and the what's not.
Apolliosis? What?
I don't know if that's a person.
Yeah, I don't know. It was really cool.
This is a Greek thing.
It's not something we can show on podcast, but it's really cool. If you look it up, you'll probably understand what I mean. But yeah, that was cool. We got that. It was £18 for a bottle of wine, which is a lot. And we opened it thinking, this better be some good shit. I don't even like wine, so I knew I wouldn't like it anyway. But let me tell you, it's not the best wine I've ever had, because if I have to have it, I prefer red. But it's definitely the best white wine I've ever had. But not for good reasons, because I sipped it and went, kind of tastes watered down. and everyone else tried it and was kind of like, oh yeah, it does. But I think that was part of it. It was really smooth rather than harsh. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was interesting. But quickly moving on again, Judd, because there's so many things to tell you about. There genuinely is. But before I get into anything else, Judd, have you got anything for me? I don't want to leave you out.
Look, the only thing that I've really done is I went to the hairdressers, and that's pretty much the only thing I've done. I could tell you about how I nearly fucking destroyed the top. Well, no, I just took. There's no real story there. I just took a really big nasty shit in the fucking toilets of the barbers that I went in.
Good.
Like really, really, really bad.
That's because lockdown restrictions have been loosening, haven't they? They've been kind of letting us do more things. I'm in desperate need of a haircut. I'm jealous, to be honest. I'm gonna try and book one this week or next week. So we're allowed to what's the new rules now? You're allowed to meet people if you don't really give a shit, and police probably won't really know what's going on anyway.
Yeah.
And you can go outside in a pub, and you can go inside if it looks like outside, and only if you're not meant to be working.
Yes.
And what else? Restaurants you still can't go in unless you can take it out with you.
You can go to them outside because me and Billy went to this place.
But only to drink alcohol.
No, you can have food.
Oh, okay. But only if it's an apple pie or an omelette.
That's not true, because I had a burger and Billy had a pizza.
Yeah, but it was made of apple pie and omelette, though. That's how they get around it.
It was an apple pie and omelette pizza. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just bullshit. It's just a lot of. I don't know. It's type of thing where yes, a lot of restrictions have been lifted, but not quite enough for me to care yet. There's been like clothes shops open and things like that, which I'm interested in going to. But for example, going to Meadowhall, it's not like you can go to going to a shopping centre. It's not like you can go to a shopping centre, do your shopping, get a bit of food, eat some food, and then leave. You can't do that because you still can't eat inside. And also the other thing is, it's going to be so busy that I still can't quite bring myself to care yet. So I'm kind of gonna wait for another sort of month after this and then go. But by then everything might have been lifted. Don't know.
Yeah.
It's a strange one. I don't know. It just still don't feel like it's worth doing anything yet because everything's still a pain in the arse. Like, yes, you can go and sit outside a pub for a beer, but I can also sit in my bedroom comfy without having to like wear a mask when I go up to the bar or wait for someone to bring my beer to me. I can just reach, literally. Look, I just did it. I reached for a new beer. It's like, nice. Did you see the coverage on one of the news channels of like one of the first blokes to have like a pint in his pub after lockdown?
No, I've not watched that. No.
Sounds
great though.
Do you know what he had?
What?
A bottle of Corona.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Something he could have very easily got from the shop. He didn't even seem that fussed. He was just like, yeah, it's nice. Oh, brilliant. God. I thought that was quite funny. I don't know. It feels like we're going to have less and less lockdown news because there's been like a sentiment, that it feels like there's going to be a big sort of when lockdown's over, as if everything's going to happen at once. But it's quite obvious, and we all really knew that it wouldn't work like that. It's going to actually be more of like a slow trickle that's going to feel very anticlimactic. And it's going to be very confusing for a long time still, so... whatever.
I can't wait to proper get on it, though, when I'm in nightclubs.
I know.
Can't wait. I'm gonna get a bit weird. Me actually, I think I'm gonna start some fights.
What's your plan though? Is it gonna? Do you think you're gonna? Because there's two schools of thoughts, isn't there? There's kind of doing what you're allowed to when you're allowed to do it, and then you could kind of have the idea of just waiting until it's kind of back to normal, and then having a big blowout type of thing.
Mm.
What's your stance? Where do you prefer to lie on that scale?
The second that I can go to Corp, I'm gonna Corp. that's what's
Again,
happening.
for people who don't know, Corp is the shittiest nightclub in existence.
It's the best thing
but
ever.
Judd, what? No, but
awesome.
Imagine this though. What if you can go to Corp, but you've got to sit outside and someone's got to bring your blue shit to you?
No. When it's like I can dance in a room and it'd be like a proper nightclub thing and all that. That's when I'd be going.
So you're not interested if you can go to Corp but it's seated.
No, I'm not interested now.
But would you go somewhere else? If there's still restrictions, because that sounds like you want to wait till you're allowed to do everything. Like you can be a fucking complete gremlin, to go there. But you're not interested in like. Going to some other places, being a bit less wild.
I'll go to some other places. I'll sit down for a pint or two. I'm fine with that. But the main thing I'm looking forward to is to be able to be a sesh gremlin again. So, because I'm kind
of leaning. I tend to lean on the end of when I'm allowed to be completely free again, and there's like next to no COVID restrictions. Then I'll start having sometimes, but I don't know though. We'll kind of see how it works. Everyone's dying for a holiday and stuff, aren't they? So as soon as you're allowed to do any sort of holidaying and things like that, that helps. But also, I'm gonna have no money. I'm gonna pay for a house and all sorts. And speaking of no money, fuck the Irish people, Judd. Am I right? Fuck the Irish. Speaking of no money. Fuck the Irish. I'm going somewhere with this. Don't worry, I'm going somewhere with this. So I'm kind of into fashion, men's fashion and stuff. And I've been trying to do some fashion reselling, which is quite a big thing that happens. Zario says, yeah, I thought you guys were Irish. No, fuck the Irish. We're from Tarn. We're from Yorkshire.
I like how you didn't even. That's weird, that, isn't it? That's like, do you know how how when you see like orcs on like anything and they're all marching along and doing like battle songs like "Ooh, hey, you," that's what that was like that.
Back on topic, yeah. I like fashion. I like my stuff. I like I've got some Supreme stuff. I like getting like Jordans and whatever, and I've been stocking up on some stuff to do reselling, things like that. So I put some things on Depop, which if anyone wants to buy anything off Depop, you have to be in the UK. And, well, if you want to buy anything from me on Depop, you can check out my store. I don't know what you have to search for. It's either Blue Bobcat or @JFoxley. I'm not sure. But you'll find it if you do that. If you're in the UK, then you can buy stuff from it. Yes, we have a couple of Brits here. And yes, so you can buy stuff from there. But this guy wanted to buy these shoes that I'm selling on there. Probably it's my most expensive item that's on there. The best thing I've got. And he wanted to buy them. So there's two ways of essentially buying stuff. You can buy it straight from the app, and then you're obliged to go and send it how you've said you will send it, depending on how you set it up. And for me, if someone buys it through the app, it's super easy. I just put it in a box. Slap this label on that, you get sort of organised for you, and then I literally walk 6 minutes to the one of the like a really close shop. I hand it to this man. He scans it with a thing, and I'm done. Like it takes no time at all. It's so good.
Yeah.
But if I do that, the app I'm selling it on takes some commission, which isn't good. It's really annoying. It's like 10%. It's quite a lot.
Okay.
So, ideally, what people often do is they'll send you a message about the item, and then you privately message on like WhatsApp and organise like the sale privately so that you don't get charged commission.
Okay.
Which sometimes passes on like the savings, like at least like sometimes half of the savings to the person buying it. So I was trying to do this with this guy, and I asked him for his address. For, like, where to post it to.
Yeah.
Because it should have been, like, £4 postage. Turns out he was in Dublin.
Right, okay.
Which is not in the UK. It's in Ireland, but not the UK. It's in Ireland, not the Republic of Ireland. They're two different countries.
So they weren't in the north of Ireland?
No, they were in the main bit of Ireland. Probably the better bit of Ireland, let's be honest.
Okay.
So... that's annoying. Now I have to pay for international shipping because of Brexit. The difference is, it went from £4 to 11. £4 to 11. God. Now, this wasn't an issue because I'm not selling it to him unless he's paying for the extra shipping.
Yeah.
He was willing to, right? So I organised, so you pay for it online, you pay for the shipping online, print a label off, put it on, and I just take it to a different place to ship it.
Yeah.
Right? Still not too much of an issue. So I pay for it, pay the £11, print the thing off, stick it on. He wanted to see a picture of the, the parcel with his address on and things like that. Thought, kind of weird. I don't know why, but all right. So I did that, and he was like, "Oh no, I need tracked shipping. I want tracked shipping." And I was like, "Well, fuck me. You could have done with telling me that before I'd bought it." So I had to go back to my computer, cancel the shipping I'd already paid for. Because you can get a refund for it for certain reasons.
Yeah.
Then print off the new tracked shipping and put that on it instead. By the way, you don't get your refund for it until like a month later, which is already really annoying. I'm having to buy a house. I have to have a certain amount in my bank account to be able to buy this fucking house. So I did that, and then to kind of cut some bits out, this guy wanted to. Well, actually, some background information. He was going to pay me by just normal bank transfer. But to pay by normal bank transfer from Ireland to the UK takes 1 to 2 working days.
Right.
If it's any further than that, it can take 3 to 5. So it takes 1 to 2 working days.
Yeah.
But what this guy wanted to do was send the money, show me a screenshot to essentially say that he's sent the money, and then he was very adamant on me posting it straight away as soon as he's sent it. But he wanted me to post it before it had come into my account.
Right.
So it was kind of like, it's on its way, mate. I've not got any money, but he still wanted me to post it to him.
Right, okay.
No. How about that? That's
Yeah.
fucking dumb. Because the reason is, you could argue that, well, what if he sent the money and it arrived in your account and you never posted the shoes? Well, you see, let's do this scenario first. If he claims to have sent the money, then I send the shoes, and then the money never arrives, I've got no way of getting it back. No way of getting that package back, because it's been sent. It's gone. Yeah?
Yeah.
If he actually sent the money, it arrives in my account, and then I never send the guy anything,
Yeah.
which obviously I was fully planning to do, but if I did that, he can file for a fraud complaint and get his money back. And also, I'd potentially be in legal problems as well. So there's plenty that he can do if I try and scam him, but there's zero I can do if he was trying to scam me. And also, he was trying to claim that if you've sent a package, you can request for it to be cancelled and returned to you, which is just a lie. It's straight up a lie, because I was looking into it as he was trying to tell me this so that I could kind of make sure. And I looked into it and I'm like, oh yeah, I've looked it up, official sources, definitely not allowed to do that, right? Yeah. So, to try and convince me that you can do that, he sent me the exact same screenshot that I'd seen, which said the exact opposite of what he was trying to convince me of. He was an absolute buffoon. I don't understand. And there was another thing that convinced me that it was a scam as well was he was still trying to get me to do it. He didn't just say, oh, I'm not doing it then, and kind of never replied to me.
Yeah.
He was still trying to get me to do it. By the way, the money's never arrived in my account. So he didn't actually send it. He sent a screenshot to try and prove that he'd sent it, which was a lie. I never got the money.
Yeah.
And one of the things I said to him as to why I weren't going to send it is because screenshots can very, very easily be faked. And one of the things he sent back to me was, oh, well, will you please, like, prove to me that, like, or, like, you know, show me how they can easily be faked. So I literally went on my bank account, used Inspect Element on Chrome, and faked the exact same, faked him transferring to me. Used his information and my information. I faked it because it's insanely easy. And I sent him that. And we're like, here's proof that you can fake it, by the way. He didn't respond to that one, believe it or not. So, yeah, shoe scam man from Ireland. Bad. Ireland is bad. That's what I'm getting from this.
Well,
that's a joke. It's jokes.
Well, listen. If he was scamming you, maybe he wasn't from Ireland. Maybe he was from, a different country.
Well, why would he want me to post it to Ireland if he wasn't from Ireland, though?
Well,
exactly. Pretty sure it's from Ireland, right? So, here's my problem with the Irish people. This is all a joke. My problem with the Irish people is not real. I don't actually have a problem with the Irish people. The following segment is a joke. Here's my problem with the Irish people. I've only ever known of 3 Irish people, okay? This shoe scammer...
They've all been terrible.
Yeah, they have. This shoe scammer, don't like him. Conor McGregor, mixed martial artist, bit of a cunt.
Oh, so that you know of, not that you know.
No, I don't know any Irish people personally. And then the third person is this one Irish guy who was on a train that I was on this one time, and he was just too loud and annoying. Irish people bad, that's what we're getting from this.
Cool, nice.
Oh, Zario's saying...
I am Irish, by the way. I am a... I think I'm an 8.
You know, you're proper talent, lad. So what shoes were worth all this? So... He's not got sent the shoes, because my final message was, look, even if you're being legit, you're being a knobhead, and I'm not sending you these shoes. So if the money does come into my account, I'm refunding you it. If it comes into my account and then I don't refund it, you can file for fraud still. But if I'm correct and it doesn't come into my account, you've got nothing to worry about. And it was that scenario. The shoes were... It depends. He was supposed to send me £185, 170 for the shoes, and then 15 to cover the insanely high cost shipping. Thanks, Brexit. So yeah. Also, I did right. Yeah, I'm certain I did right there. I even called my bank to be like, look, this guy's trying to send me like proof that he sent me some money. What would I need to see on his proof to be able to believe him? And the guy at the bank said, don't. It doesn't matter what he sends you, just straight up don't. Just wait until the money comes into his account. That's literally the only thing you can do. He said that, like, if I'm ever selling to, like, Ireland, I could maybe try PayPal, but I looked into that, and it takes even longer, I think, to transfer via PayPal. So, basically, the moral of the story is I'm not selling any stuff unless it's in the UK. So, sorry about that. It's not my fault. It's Brexit's fault. Blame the Tories. Once again. Once again, blame the Tories is all we can say. That one isn't a joke. Anyway, moving on. I've got more shit to tell you, Judd. Have you ever seen first of all, you tell me something. Just anything. I need an opportunity to pour another drink.
I have nothing to tell. I don't think I've done anything. No, I threatened to kick somebody's head in when I went out on a night out.
You went out on a night out?
Yeah, on the Monday, because we're allowed in beer gardens, weren't we?
And you managed to have a whole night out just in beer gardens.
We didn't actually have it wasn't like a proper night out. It was I only stayed out till like 9, so it wasn't like a full night out.
Right.
But
by the way, I'm trying to set myself like a good sleep schedule of like 11 while 8. So if we ever go on a night out, we might have to plan for that and start drinking at like 4, so that it feels late at like 11.
Yeah.
That's
that
anyway.
Sounds fine. That sounds fine.
So whose head were you going to kick in?
Well, so all that happened.
This old granny, right?
no. So basically, we'd gone out with somebody, and basically, what happened was that he really wanted me to basically have this Jaeger bomb, and
you are quite a fiend for Jaeger bombs, to be fair.
Yeah, usually I am, but I'd said as I went out, I said I'm not going to be able to drink loads and loads because I've got work the next day. But I was still going to drink a fair bit. Like I just finished having like a White Russian.
Oh God! All right. Oh, I'm not going to drink much. Drink's a White Russian. What?
Yeah. So I was still doing all right. Look, I was still having a fair bit to drink. So I just had that, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm going to get us some White Russians then." And I'm like, well, I'm not going to have one if you do, so don't get one for me. It's like, no, you're gonna have one. I'm like, I'm not, mate. Don't bother getting me one. Because
by the way, you can, if I'm on this night out, you can picture me being with that guy, and I'd be on that guy's side. You know, I'm that guy. I do shit like that. I'm like, don't worry, everyone. I'm buying you all really strong drinks. We're all gonna get fucked up. It's like, and everyone's like, no, don't do it. I don't want to. I'm like, shut the fuck up, pussy. It's happening.
No, I want to, like, I didn't this time, but the main thing wasn't even I was thinking, oh, I don't want to get drunk. It's that I just had something that was really creamy and that sort of texture, and then immediately it was going to be like thick, sort of syrupy kind of,
too sugary,
way too. So I was like, if I immediately have that straight away, I know that I'm going to be sick. I just am. So I was like, I'm not, and I'd basically been telling him no for ages, and they get here, and obviously he's got one for me, and he's going, go on then, drink it. I'm going, I'm not drinking it, I'm all right, I don't want to drink it. And he goes, if you don't drink it, I'm gonna pour it on you. And he starts going like,
fuck?
And he starts going like, acting like he's gonna pour it on me, and I had gone out and. Because I just had my hair cut and I'd had my beard all neatened up and stuff. I was out for one of the first time of the ages thinking, I look good tonight and I'm proud of how I look. So this guy was saying, oh, I'm gonna pour it on you. And it just really fucking pissed me off. And I remember saying to him, his girlfriend and his stepdad were there when he were doing this, by the way.
That's weird.
And he said that. And I remember I said to him, I went, if you pour that on me, I'm going to kick your fucking head in. Sit down.
Did you say it that aggressive, or did you say it a bit
more?
I
did. I said,
I wish I'd have seen that. That'd be fun.
I said, I'll kick your fucking head in. Sit down. And he was like, "Oh, sorry," and then he tried to be buddy with me for the rest of the night because I'd snapped at him.
I'm not surprised. That's just annoying as fuck. It's like that's just being a knobhead, isn't it? It's like at that point you have to know when to give up, and it's fair. Because I'm that kind of guy sometimes that is wanting everyone to get drunk and have a fun time. I do get a bit annoyed when people don't want to, and they really don't want to kind of, be silly and get drunk. So, but that's fine. Just be annoyed then. Don't be a prick. It's like you can sit and be like, oh fuck's sake, I wish you'd have had that. Move on. That's kind of it.
I think the thing is, I think he was thinking it was in a joking way. But the thing is, he'd been asking me for probably about 10, 20 minutes straight.
Well,
and it'd been annoying through the night anyway, and I was sat there with like all my good stuff on, and then he was saying he was going to pour this fucking drink on me, and it just fucking pissed me off.
Well, that's the problem though. It's not a funny joke, is it? It's not like it's just shit. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
That's the difference there. But fair enough. I'm excited to be able to. I want a Barnsley night out. Barnsley's my favourite night out. It really is.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's like. Technically, I know it's a shit night out, but I love it. It's my favourite shit night out. And let's be honest, all nights out are shit. But with Barnsley, you're not having to pay an extortionate amount. Well, you are an extortionate amount. It still does cost a lot, but nowhere near as much as any other place. And also, it's like very convenient because of where we live and all sorts. It's hometown nights out can be very, very good.
Yeah.
And a lot of people our age like to go to cities near us, like Leeds or Sheffield or Manchester, maybe Wakefield, maybe Doncaster, stuff like that. Huddersfield, maybe. But I don't rate it, because you always have to get, like, a more expensive taxi because it's a city centre, so you've got to go further. And especially if you don't live near that, like, in that city somewhere. And every drink's more expensive. There's loads of people. All the people are more likely to be pricks rather than just old blokes who are kind of a bit dodgy, but like, harmless.
Yeah, that might be nonsense. But the thing is, we aren't kids, so they're not going to get us, so it's fine.
God. Yeah, I'm going to put that's a joke. I'm going to have to put that one there. But yeah, it's great. So two Brits aren't talking football. Oh, God.
Oh, God, we don't know. We don't do that.
No, we don't. No. That's quite a stereotype, really, isn't it? I would say out of all the British stereotypes, that's not a very accurate one. I don't think most British lads are as into football as foreigners seem to think we are.
I don't know. I feel like if you went into a Spoons and you went up to random tables of lads just talking about football, I reckon 80% of the people there would know. Like what were going on.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, we would know what's going on because of our dad. he's into football. But it's like, you know what's going on, I can hold a conversation about football. I know enough footballers, and I relatively know who's on certain teams, kind of because of FIFA, in a lot of ways, the video game. And my sister plays a bit of football, and stuff like that. I generally, and I know enough to hold a conversation. Every lad in Britain knows at least enough to hold an hours-long conversation about football, but I don't think as many are actually actively into football as you'd think. I wouldn't necessarily say it's an outdated stereotype. I guess it probably is an outdated stereotype because I think lads have kind of just moved on to some other stuff, if that makes sense. So, like, back in the day, there wouldn't have been much else other than football for lads to like in Britain. But now there is more that they can choose. A lot of them still choose football. But having said that, the World Cup, now that's a different story. Normal football, couldn't really give a shit, ever. If my sister's playing football and I go to watch a game, cool. Rooting for my sister. But the World Cup, I fucking like the World Cup.
You're big on the World Cup.
Yeah, I'm big on the World Cup. Are you not? I thought you would like it too.
No, not really. I mean, a bit. If I got kind of swept up in the whole "it's coming home" thing.
Yeah, that was great. I love it. It's the whole atmosphere, and also kind of like it's almost mildly like a genetic experiment.
Do you mean social? Do you mean social experiment?
No,
not genetic?
no, a genetic experiment, like as in which country can produce beings with the best genes to kick balls.
Right,
like,
that's fair enough then. Yeah, that's fair.
So that's my nerdy reasoning. But yeah, football, we're not big on that. Speaking of stuff we're not big on, movies, Judd. Artsy, Oscar-y movies people like, right?
Oscar bait movies.
Oscar bait movies. Have you ever seen the very, very famous and well-received movie, The Shining?
I have, yeah. I have seen The Shining.
Well, if people have listened to our last podcast,
Oh God.
If anyone listens to the last podcast,
you can call it that.
If anyone listened to the last podcast, you'll know that I like my spreadsheets. I get quite boners over spreadsheets, you know.
You do have like a bit of a weird faggy obsession. Can I say faggy?
Yeah, that's a reasonable assumption, but a reasonable assessment. But I've got a spreadsheet tracking like scores that we've out of 100 that we give movies and TV. And when I say we, it's me and Judd, my girlfriend, and then like my friend. And then I've also got the critics and audience score from Rotten Tomatoes and the IMDb score. And The Shining, to me, is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th worst movie I've ever seen, according to this spreadsheet so far.
Okay.
What do you think of that, Judd? After seeing The Shining,
I wasn't super big on The Shining. I like some ideas that it had in it. I liked Jack Nicholson's acting. But
that's why it's not the bottom, because Jack Nicholson actually did do some good acting in it. But bear in mind, let me tell you the scores for... So the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes is 84. The audience score is 93. The IMDb rating is 84. Overall, and my friend Carl's rating is 90.
90?
Yeah. And
God,
overall,
no, I'm gonna get a 90.
Overall, across all of those as an average, it's 75. So I give it a 23 out of 100. God. 23. And that's literally for Jack Nicholson's acting, because that was a redeeming element. I wouldn't even say it's some of the best acting I've seen. It was decent. It was good.
Yeah.
And also that it made me laugh.
there are some very funny bits in that shouldn't.
Shit.
Yeah.
Literally, genuinely, you could maybe do the first 15 minutes of that film, then after that, all the way up until the 2-hour mark, cut that. Yeah. Get rid of it. You don't need it. All of it's pointless. It's all pointless. You don't need it at all. It's just pointless drivel. Like nothing happens. It's all bollocks.
I like the bit where he looks in through a doorway and there's a guy getting sucked off by like a guy in a bunny suit or something.
Yeah, that was one of the. There's two bits that made me laugh out loud hysterically.
Yeah,
and that's where this woman's running away from Jack Nicholson. She's just managed to kick him down the stairs, right? And she runs back up these stairs, and like kind of happens to glance in one of the hotel rooms, and all you can see is like an ass hanging out of like a flap of like a bear costume.
Yeah.
And then this bear, like this man dressed in a bear costume, kind of kneels up and looks at her like, the fuck are you looking at?
Yeah, like, what are you looking at?
And then this business-looking bloke like leans around the door frame and looks at her saying like, the fuck are you looking at?
Yeah,
trying to fucking be weird in here.
Like he's in here sucking me up. What are you doing? Why are you looking in? You freak.
It was so funny. I swear to God,
brilliant.
it was like out of a scary movie parody. It genuinely it's like that.
Yeah.
And the other thing that made me laugh out loud so much like that, again, straight out of a scary movie parody. Spoilers for The Shining, by the way.
Yeah.
After he chases this kid through the maze, and it's snowy and that sort of thing. Yeah. And basically kind of how he dies, he just gives up. He's just like, he kind of has to just sit in the snow because they've managed to get away.
Well, he loses. The thing is, the kid loses Jack Nicholson's character in this maze, and it's like the snow's quite bad and heavy. So this guy gets lost in the maze, and so he he just gets lost and he freezes to death in this maze. That's how they get him.
But the thing is, when they show you him frozen to death, I swear to God, it's that meme. It's the meme. If you look up Frozen Guy meme, I bet it comes up. Frozen Guy meme, right? Yep, first picture that comes up. That's genuinely what they show. It's hilarious. It's so funny. And that's why I rate that film so badly. Because literally 95% of it is pure boredom. And then there's those two moments which are kind of funny. I swear to God, whoever wrote the lines for the wife in that movie, they were a 4-year-old. And honestly, they were like, oh yes, we are here. This looks very nice, this hotel that we are looking at. It's like, and she delivers them like that. It's not, that's not even an exaggeration. She's awful.
I'm not surprised that fucking Jack Nicholson bullied her until she was like crying in a fucking trailer because she was shit.
Zario's saying, what's your take on The Village? It's not a film I've seen. I'll look up The Village movie and potentially add it to my list. Has it got someone in it that we know? Is it? Oh, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I'll put it on my list of things to watch because I'd like to put it on the spreadsheet. But honestly, Judd, what would you rate The Shining then?
Not high. I wasn't like big on The Shining. I like a fair bit of Stanley Kubrick's works, but The Shining's, I suppose, is probably not one of the best for him. I don't know. I would have given it like a 55.
So you think it's better than the average film? You genuinely think that that's slightly better than an average movie, considering that 95% of it could be cut?
Yeah, because it's really funny.
Well, those two moments are funny. None of that's the other thing. Actually, one other moment that is kind of funny is the bit where it looks like he's kissing that hot woman and it's a gross granny. That's like fucking Greg Paul type shit, you know?
I can't even remember that one, to be honest.
Yeah. It's like this guy. He goes into this bathroom and there's this hot girl there, and he starts kissing her and then opens his eyes, and it's this like gross granny with saggy tits and like leprosy or something running after me.
Nice.
It's like that Greg Paul prank. But you have to bear in mind, it's not trying to be funny.
Yeah.
So what are you giving it?
I don't know.
Out of 100.
Out of 100. I don't know. That's a hard one for me. I suppose I do really like Jack Nicholson. I really like him. I could drop it down to maybe a 45 though.
45 it is. We're going with that. Just some statistics on our favourite movies, by the way.
Okay.
I'll give you some good statistics on this. So, Judd's barely submitted any scores to this. I think after the podcast, I want to ask you a bunch of scores on stream. But your top 5, either movies or streaming. I'm gonna go with movies, streaming, or TV. Here's the top 5 from 5 to 1. What we've got currently. This could very well change because it's almost half of his list. WandaVision is number 5. Number 4 is Avengers Endgame. Number 3 is the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Number 2 is Avengers Infinity War. And number 1 is Breaking Bad.
Yeah, there it is. There it is!
And then the
My
reverse.
beauty.
The reverse.
I love Breaking Bad.
From 5 to 1. So number 1 being Judd's least favourite that we've got currently. We've got Doctor Who as your fifth from bottom. Labyrinth.
And you know what? And it's so sad. And it's so sad.
Fall from Grace.
Just from the new stuff that's been coming out, it deserves it. It deserves it. It kind of needs to have its head grabbed and its face rubbed in its own shit a bit,
not
so it can know that.
Me, but...
So that it knows what it's doing's wrong, because they'll never learn. They'll never learn unless we tell them.
It's like me complaining about the dog, innit?
Yeah. They'll never learn, so you've got to grab them by their head and rub the face in their own shit so that they know what they're doing's wrong.
Well, number 4 is Labyrinth. Number 3 is The Revenant. Number 2 is The Shining. And number 1, Judd's least favourite thing that we've got on this spreadsheet so far, is Dragon Ball Evolution. Which is also quite sad, really, being as we really liked Dragon Ball, but not Dragon Ball Evolution.
Nobody liked that piece of shit.
Just so you know, as well, I'll read out my top 5 and
Could you
my
imagine a
least
guy
favourite as well.
who's like super into Dragon Ball, but he's only into Dragon Ball Super?
You mean Dragon Ball Evolution, the movie?
Evolution?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, Super's the anime that's I heard is good.
So my top 5 movies or TV shows from 5 to 1. So 5 being my, so number 1 being my favourite of all time. So far, obviously this will get added to and stuff. Number 5 is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Number 4 is The Dark Knight. Number 3 is Daredevil, the Netflix show. Number 2 is Avengers Endgame, and number 1 is Avengers Infinity War.
Okay.
And then my top 5 least favourite movies of all time, which you're going to probably want to give some scores for some of these. So again, number 1 of these being my least favourite movie of all time. I'm sure we will be thoroughly disappointed in The Village. It'll be great. So my number 5 is The Lovely Bones. Then
that is a piece of shit.
Then number 4 is When Harry Met Sally. Do you know that movie, the romance movie, kind of like 80s romance thing?
So I know of it, but I've never like watched it.
Judd, let me tell you, don't. You don't need to, because I'm going to tell you what happens, and then you won't need to watch it.
Okay,
basically, it's these two people. It's Harry and Sally.
Yeah.
They meet. Do you know what? You could end it there. That could be it, really. I'm going to be honest. The title kind of gives the whole thing away. But if you want more detail, they kind of have strange, awkward chats at kind of various points through their life, and that's it. The whole thing.
Awesome.
It's literally worse than what we're doing right now. It's literally worse than us doing this right now. So it's literally worse than a conversation with anyone. Yeah. It's like if you take a conversation with anyone and make it more annoying and pretentious. There you go. That's it. That's the whole thing. So that's
when
that.
Harry Met Sally. Okay.
My number 3 worst movie of all time is essentially the same thing, but you dial the pretentious up to 11. It's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Do you know what's it called? What's it called again?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It stars Jim Carrey, that you know.
What does it?
Yep.
Nice.
It's like an artsy romance drama thingy.
Okay.
And then we get to
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, so this is from Harry Met Sally downwards. It's movies that, to make this factually correct, I have to put it this way. It's movies that I consider myself to have not even managed to finish.
Okay.
So, I couldn't finish When Harry Met Sally. I've not finished Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And number 2 worst film of all time for me is Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. You know that one?
No, I've never heard of it.
It's like a sci-fi adventure thing, and I gave it 15 out of 100 because fuck me.
15 out of 100.
I could do the first third of it. I've tried 3 times, and I've managed to get the furthest I've managed is the first third, right? And the number 1 worst film I've ever seen of all time. What is it, Judd? Because you do know what it is. Tell me what it is.
I know what this is.
You do. Come on, you do know. It's the one that we say is the worst film. Come on. You'll know it if you've forgotten, and you're going to kick yourself now when I tell you it. It's the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
Dr. Parnassus, yeah.
I gave it 10 because we've got an in-joke about it. Otherwise, it would get like -4. Honestly, there is 0 redeeming qualities about that movie other than the fact that we laugh about how bad it is sometimes.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, honestly.
We need to watch that again, the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, because I don't really
think we
remember
could.
it.
I don't think we could manage it. It's one of 2 movies bear in mind there's over 230 movies movies and TV in this list now.
Yeah.
It's one of 2 where I've not been able to give it a genre. It's I can't is it a drama? I don't think so. Comedy? Sci-fi? Adventure? I don't know. It's like if you've ever seen that movie, you might know what we're talking about. The other one, by the way, that I've not been able to give a genre, makes a bit more sense why I've not been able to give it one, is the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yes.
Jesus, what genre is that? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It'd be holidays, not like a thing.
There is
it?
Christmas, but that's the other thing. I've got Christmas on here as a genre. Is it a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
I'm going to put it as a secondary one, but anyway. So that's that. Some other statistics I want to give you, by the way, is the best 5 and the worst 5 of me, you, Cal, and Jasmine's scores.
Yeah.
As well as the top and worst overall. So that's including us and Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. So,
all right.
The best 5 movies for just us, just like local friendship us people, is at number 5. Jesus, this is very one-sided. When I read these out, this will... Anyway, number 5 is Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Okay.
So, Lord of the Rings 3. Number 4 is Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Okay, right, okay.
Do you maybe want to guess what number 3 is, Judd?
Is it another Lord of the Rings movie?
Yeah, it's Fellowship of the Ring. It's Lord of the Rings.
That's it, yeah.
Number 2, bear in mind, this is based on the fact that not every one of us 4 that I've mentioned has rated all of these. In fact, none of them have rated all of them. So, number 2 is the Daredevil Netflix show.
Right.
That's mostly because only I've rated that. And then number 1 is a film that I've yet to watch, but I want to watch, Taxi Driver. A big inspiration for the Joker.
Right. Oh yeah, Taxi Driver. No, I've seen stuff on it, but I've never actually watched it.
So that's rated extremely highly on ours, and mostly because Cal's the only one who's seen it, and he rated it 94. Well, technically, I'm basing it off this thing that he sent me that doesn't give very specific ratings. Technically, he rated it 100, but not really, if that makes sense. So that's that. The worst ones that us, me, my girlfriend Judd, and my friend Cal, so number 5. Oh, there's a lot of similarities to mine on this. So number 5 is The Lovely Bones. Number 4 is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Do you want to give your ranking on The Lovely Bones, by the way, just to see if it moves around?
I've not done The Lovely Bones.
Well, I've not asked you about most of these that I've put on here yet, have I, so?
God, fucking...
Out of 100.
30.
30? I feel like that's reasonably generous,
You think 30?
Bear in mind, bear in mind, that's 1 point over what I gave The Polar Express. You can leave it at 30, it's your score, it's up to you.
I think 30 is what I'm going to leave it at.
That's fair enough, but what I will say is...
Because that guy who was the nonce did a very good job at convincing me he was a nonce.
That has removed it out of our top 5 worst. By doing that, yep. So now the number 5...
I didn't realise it'd have such a big impact.
Now the number 5 worst is Sausage Party.
Sausage Party, I'm going to say it. Sausage Party was fucking dog shit, and I am actually happy that I've knocked that down to...
What would you give that as a score, then? Let's see if it shuffles it even more.
Fucking, I don't know, 25.
25, okay. Once again, just so you know, that's knocked Sausage Party out of being the 5th worst. But
is it 4th or worse now, or?
No, it's no. It's 7th worst now.
How's that fucking happened?
Because you gave it 25 and its average was like 21.
I was being generous again. According to this fucking.
So anyway, let me give you the top 5 now. So the worst 5 now. So the 5th worst is Thunder Force. It's a new Netflix movie that I just watched today and gave it 22. It was terrible.
I've never even heard of it.
I watched it knowing it would be terrible, and I wanted to put a bad scored movie on this list.
Okay, that's
Number 4 worst of all time is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. People are going to hate that, by the way, because that gets a critic score on Rotten Tomatoes of 92 and an audience score of 94. Anyway, Star Wars Holiday Special, that's the 3rd worst ever. The Lion King remake is the 2nd worst ever.
The remake? What, like the new one?
Yeah, the live action one.
Right.
The reason for that is I've not seen it yet, so Cal is the only person who's rated it, and he gave it 10.
Right, okay.
Cal has stupid scores, I have to say, but anyway. And then the joint number 1 is Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Anyway, so our top 5...
What's the other number 1? Because you said it was joint.
The Lion King. The Lion King.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was okay.
But our top 5 is the exact same as my top 5, I think. Is it? Wait. No, I already read out the top 5, didn't I, for our top 5?
Yeah.
As in, okay, so now I'll read the top 5. Well, I'll do the bottom 5 first. The bottom 5, which includes me and Judd, my girlfriend and Cal, but also the scores from critics and audience on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. So this is this should be a pretty damn accurate, rating. This, with a bit of influence from us. So it's going to be pretty similar again. The top 5 worst. So the number 5 worst, including our scores and all the critics and everything, is The Lovely Bones. The Lovely Bones are still there. The next one at number 4, something that we've not had yet. Lara Croft Tomb Raider from 2001.
Right.
The Angelina Jolie one?
Yeah, I do know it.
Yep, so that one. Then, to put in perspective how bad this Thunder Force movie was, by the way, that's number 3 worst.
Right, okay.
Right. Then the number 2 worst, Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yep.
Not very surprising. And the number 1 worst is the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah.
A very, very interesting statistic, by the way. This isn't a movie that's made it on average into the top 5 worst, although it has made it into the top 10 worst, is the movie that has the worst rating. So across everyone, across everyone's scores, the lowest rating out of all of them. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
It's a rating of 5. That's the lowest number you'll see anywhere on the spreadsheet.
Right, okay.
Do you want to guess? So I want a little mini game with this. For a start, I want you to guess what movie you think it is to start with. Then I'll tell you who gave that score, and then have another guess. See if you can think what it is. So what's your guess? What got a 5? See if you can just guess a movie. See if you can get it. It'll be very difficult.
Well, I'll just say The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus then.
No, it's not an obvious one. Have another guess.
It's not an obvious
It's not. Well, I don't know. It might be. It's nowhere near as obvious as that though. And it's definitely a movie you know of. Definitely.
Is it like Star Wars? Is it like a Star Wars movie?
No, I'll give you a clue. The person. It's not a very good clue. The person. The score. The place that gave this a 5 out of 100 was the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes.
And it was a 5.
Yeah, you'll probably not guess it. Just try and do your best. See if you can get one.
I don't know. Doom. The Doom movie.
That's not a bad guess. No, it's Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh!
That got a 5. Do you know what score I gave
5.
that?
Go on.
81.
81.
I'm giving that a higher score than like.
It's not a good movie. It's funny. It's funny because of Jontron.
I've given it a higher score than Ace Ventura. I've given it a higher score than like any of the Hobbit movies. I've given it a higher score. I like Christmas with the Cranks way more than The Shining.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the last one that I'll read out for you is the overall, including all of our scores and the critics and audience from trusted websites.
Yeah.
The top. So these are the best movies we have in the spreadsheet. This is the most reliable best movies in the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
In at number 5. Before I read these out, Chud, do you want to give any guesses? Do you know what I think? Do you know what I think you should do? Being as we've got some podcast left to fill. Oh, by the way, Zario says if you don't mind reading subtitles, City of God in Portuguese is a great tale, and Pan's Labyrinth in Old Spanish is great. See, the thing is with that, Zario, is I can't read.
Yeah,
severely dyslexic. So any movie with subtitles.
I have seen Pan's Labyrinth, and I'm a big Guillermo del Toro fan.
That is on this spreadsheet, by the way.
Yeah. So I adore Pan's Labyrinth. I'd probably give it I don't know, like a 75 or an 80.
So, well, we'll
really
get to
liked
that
it,
eventually.
so.
Judd, right. So, I want you to really, really quick fire give me 5 movies that you think could be on this spreadsheet. Go. As the top ones. Just quick. Bear in mind, it's stuff that everyone likes, stuff that we would like, Go, quick.
So, an Avengers Infinity War.
Infinity War, right. Another one? Jesus, I can type that quick.
You know, I'm going to go with Titanic.
Titanic, that's not even on the spreadsheet, but we're leaving it. Carry on. Weird that I know every 235 movies that are on the spreadsheet.
How about...
Just blast it. Just keep going. Stuff that you think will be big. Go.
Stuff that'd be big. Lord of the Rings, Two Towers.
Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. If you could see how bad my spelling mistakes on writing these down are. I know what they say. Anyway, 2 more.
Is it just movies, or can I say
movies
TV
and
shows?
TV? But I will give you a hint. They are all movies.
Okay. Oh, all right. Well, if they're all movies, then Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok. That, oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I tried to spell Ragnarok with 15 letters. Anyway. That was the fakest laugh I've ever heard from you. Carry on.
No, yeah, because that was more ashamed than anything, to be honest. Fucking Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so spoilers, Judd. You're wrong. None of those are in it.
Okay, I didn't expect
that was a fun bit. Anyway, right, so in at number 5, best movie of all time so far that we've got in this very, very good spreadsheet, isn't it sexy, everyone? Is Back to the Future.
Okay.
Yeah, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Great movie. It's probably my all-time favourite comfort movie. My personal score of it I've given is 88. The average score of it is, I'm going to put decimal places on so that we can find out, 90.6.
90.6, really?
Yeah. Yep.
So it's actually rated higher
Than I give it.
Than what you give it.
Yeah, on average overall, the highest rating of it is 96, and it's the critics on Rotten Tomatoes.
Shit, okay.
Overall, by the way, IMDb does not give high ratings. Right, so at number 4, again, this is probably mostly due to me rating it, is Whiplash. The movie Whiplash. Have you ever seen that?
Whiplash is fucking sick. I've only managed to watch bits of it, but it's from what I've seen. J.K. Simmons is just a fucking. He's an animal in that fucking movie.
I cannot pick out any bad acting in that movie.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's so good. Yet it's still not my favorite ever. Anyway, I gave it a 91. Bear in mind, the highest score I'm ever willing to give so far is a 95, because nothing can be 100% perfect. The highest score it's been given across the board is 94, and its average is 91. The third highest is Taxi Driver.
Okay,
that's got some high critic scores.
Again, from what I've seen of that, it looks awesome.
The highest, I've not been able to rate it yet because I've not seen it, but it's on my list. So,
have you ever heard? I want to ask really quickly. Have you ever heard of a movie called Falling Down?
No, I can add it to the list.
I'd watch Falling Down if I was you, because that's a fucking awesome movie, and that I feel like it inspired Joker as well, but I don't really know. But
yeah, there was some good inspiration for Joker. So Taxi Driver, the highest rating it's been given is the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is 96. Its average is 91.25. Number 2. Actually, you did get one of them right, because there's Lord of the Rings stuff here. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. The first Lord of the Rings movie is...
The first one. I thought it would be Two Towers. I didn't know why.
Well, that's in at number 2, Fellowship of the Ring. So the highest score it's been given is a 95, and my friend Cal gave it that, as well as audiences on Rotten Tomatoes. Its overall, I gave it personally an 89. Its overall average is 91.6. And then, statistically, for us, the greatest film ever so far that's been put into this spreadsheet is Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, which you actually did guess.
Yeah, that's the one I did guess, yeah.
The best score it's been given is a 95, which is by critics and audiences on Rotten Tomatoes, and Cal gave it that. I gave it an 89. I think it's the same as the first one. It's just as good. Both amazing. And its average overall is 92.4. So nice. I love stuff like that. I love statistics and spreadsheets and things like that, as you can tell, being as I've got the biggest raging boner over all these stats right now. But there you go. That's movies and shit. What we have learnt from this is The Shining is probably the most overrated movie ever. So far as I'm concerned.
It's quite very overrated, that movie, isn't it?
It's fucking trash. It's so bad.
I never really thought about it, just because the only reason I really like that movie is because of Jack Nicholson's acting. But then, really, when I think about it, it's not got a whole lot going for it.
No, it's awful. It's so bad. I feel like people like it cause they feel like they're supposed to for some reason. I think that's the only reason. Bear in mind, Cal gave it a 90. He gave it 90. Yeah. Audiences gave it 93. But after you've given it a score as well, its average across me, you, and Cal is 53.
Oh, right, okay.
So, and I think that overall, after if Jasmine rated it as well, I think a 45 that you've given it is more of an objective thing that I think people should think about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As in, I think people should like The Shining 45 out of 100, if that makes sense. But, listen here, folks who listen to this podcast, right? This is the end of the podcast because I need to pee.
Yeah, I really need to shit
However,
as well.
we're going to put it on a break for the stream and both come back because we've got some more filling out of the spreadsheets to do. But this is the end of the podcast. Judd, why don't you just give us a recommendation for something at the end of this podcast? I've drunk quite a bit of this Armenian brandy at this point, so...
What's a recommendation of what?
Just anything.
Of a movie?
Just recommend something. Just anything. Something that you recommend.
I will recommend 3 things for you right now. I'll recommend you a movie, a TV show, and some booze.
Ooh, let's go.
So,
let's do it.
The movie... I recommend Falling Down. I think it's a brilliant fucking movie. The main guy, I forget the guy's name.
I'm going to try and, off the top of my head, match your recommendations each time. The movie I will recommend is The Platform, except I won't recommend the movie. I recommend Pyrocynical's video on the movie. Anyway.
Okay, all right. The Platform. I'll watch that with my fucking nan and granddad. The series I'm going to recommend is Invincible, which is on Amazon Prime. I'll only be managing to catch bits of that on YouTube because I don't have Amazon Prime. But from what I've seen of it, it's fucking awesome. And I've been looking up at a lot of the comic stuff as well. The comics are really good as well.
Okay, well, the series I will recommend, not because I think it's necessarily very good, because I just think it's interesting for everyone to check out and see if they like it, is The Tick on Amazon Prime. I think it's a reboot, or something. I don't know. Yeah. The Tick, Amazon Prime. I managed 2 seasons and I've kind of just given up. But, it's an interesting one.
Yeah. And then, what was the last thing I was going to recommend?
Booze.
Bumbu, rum.
Yeah, I recommend that one too. That's the only one. Bumbu, please sponsor us.
Yeah, get Bumbu.
We'll clean up the show. Yeah, me too. Okay, we'll put it on a break. Come back though, Judd. Come back. Okay, bye. Bye, everyone.